It's a showdown with the snow. The record-breaking snowfall during the month of February is causing headaches and hardships for some local public works departments. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us how crews in Crystal are battling the snow.
The month of February has been brutal.
You feel like you're always behind, and then it snows and you get a little more behind.
In Crystal, snow has fallen in the city 60% of the days. The white stuff is piling up on streets, parking lots, and sidewalks.
There's 3 feet of snow on them. You can't walk, you're forced to walk on the road.
Creating a slippery, dangerous mess.
Almost get hit.
The onslaught of snow is taking a toll on public works crews and equipment.
We're concerned too, and we're actively working on it. Unfortunately, with the equipment breaking down, and that is the only equipment that fits on our sidewalks. We're working to get it fixed and back up and trying to get these sidewalks clear, but Mother Nature's just not cutting us a break.
One of their snow removal machines has been broken for days. It's time crews don't have to waste.
They have to drive right along the roads where all the snow from the road is put on the sidewalks. So they're out there trying to work their way through that, and they're breaking down as well.
Employees are putting in long hours, working around the clock, trying to keep up with Mother Nature. And it doesn't look like public works crews will get a break anytime soon.
With another 2 inches of snow possible in the forecast Friday, we'll be right back to starting all over again.
In Crystal, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The Maple Grove Police K-9 unit has a new member on the team.
So as you can see, he's quite affectionate, and we've grown quite fond of each other now.
K-9 handler Officer Dave Goggins says his new partner is very friendly. He says the pup is like a toddler and getting into everything. The Belgian Malinois is 14 months old, about 70 pounds. He arrived in Minnesota from Hungary about 2 weeks ago. The K-9 hasn't officially started training just yet, so for now, he's bonding with his handler.
This whole period right now is just to bond and kind of get to know each other, and he eats everything straight from the hand, so nothing out of a bowl or anything like that. It's just to build that bond between the two of us, so he knows that all good things come from me.
The new police dog doesn't have a name just yet. His Hungarian name, though, is Rudy. The Maple Grove Police Department is running a contest to name the dog. Thursday's the last day to participate, though. Log on to the Maple Grove Police Facebook page for more information. This week in Plymouth, a meeting of well wishes and thanks to a longtime city council member. This week was Plymouth City Council member Judy Johnson's last meeting. At the end of the meeting, she had a chance to say goodbye and recount the changes in Plymouth over the last 20+ years she's been in office.
My most favorite thing was when we finally got the 3rd lane on 494. I think half the reason I ran so many times for city council was because I was not going to quit until that thing was done. And so that was really, really an awesome moment for our community.
Judy Johnson won't officially submit her resignation until March 6th when she's sworn into the Metropolitan Council. To wrap up Black History Month, we learn about a Golden Valley groundbreaker. John Mitchell passed away in 2009, but as Eric Nelson explains, his legacy is still felt today.
He lived in Golden Valley with his wife and a son and 2 daughters who went to the local schools.
John Mitchell became the first African American in Minnesota history to be part of a city council when he was elected by Golden Valley voters in 1980.
He was a fine leader.
Inside the Golden Valley Historical Society, Mitchell is prominently displayed. He left an impact in many ways.
In 1982, he began organizing the Black History Month, which was the first in the United States, as we understand it.
Back then, Mitchell invited high-profile African Americans to Golden Valley during the month of February so they could tell their stories.
Pointing out the positive aspect of the Black community and the positive things that they have done through their inventions and their literature and their occupations.
Mitchell worked for Honeywell and was on the city's Human Rights Commission. In 1972, he started the Rotary Club in Golden Valley and was the inaugural president. When Mitchell was first elected to the city council, they met on Monday nights. But that interfered with one of his passions.
At his first meeting, he said to the city council, "I love football on Monday nights. I move we change the date to Tuesday."
The council agreed, and the meetings now take place on Tuesday. In Golden Valley, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
The battle lines are drawn at Jackson Middle School for the Anoka-Hennepin District's Battle of the Books.
Anoka-Hennepin!
Reading rock!
Students tested their book knowledge during a trivia competition this week. Each answered questions about 25 books they read since the beginning of the school year.
You have learned the backstory of incredibly famous artists and sculptors. You have learned about the role of the Secret Service in protecting people in our country. You have learned what the important works are that are housed at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York.
We know that there is no better way to gain background knowledge and information and world knowledge than having kids read widely and read extensively.
The competition involved 7 schools and 362 students in the district. The winning team walked away with a trophy and their school's name engraved for all the district to see. March comes in like a lion this year and only promises to add to the piles of snow. Here's a look at the snowy scenes on Victory Memorial Parkway in Robbinsdale. And remember, you can see this story and all CCX News stories on our website, ccxmedia.org.
After a few down years by their standards, the Benilde-St. Margaret's boys hockey team had a very strong regular season. After beating Wayzata in the Section 6 AA semifinals, the Red Knights faced Edina for a section title and a spot at state. Second period, the Hornets on the power play. Mason Nevers with a blast from the circle off a pass from Mike Forlicki. Edina has a 1-0 lead. That's the score through 2. Third period, Forlicki passes to Nick Williams, and a great tip in here by number 17, Brett Chorski. The senior gives Edina a 2-0 lead. Benilde gets one back a short time later. Jonah Mortensen scores on a backhander, and the Red Knights, despite being badly outshot, trail just 2-1. But that's as close as they get. Great work here by Jet Jungles to get past the D and a backhand shot in for a goal to make it 3-1 Edina. The Hornets add 2 more. They win the Section 6 AA title and end Benilde-St. Margaret's season. 5-1 is the final. The state wrestling tournament is underway with team competition on the first day. One local squad hit the mat as Totino-Grace faced 3rd seed Waconia in the Class 2A quarterfinals. After a loss at 106, Joey Thompson gets Totino-Grace on the board. He gets a takedown on the way to a 15-4 major decision over Reese White at 113 pounds. At 126, Bryce Erkenbrack works for a takedown and gets it against Alex Riley. Erkenbrack wins 4-2 for the Eagles, pulls them within 10-7. Unbeaten Jakes Field puts on a takedown clinic and then pins Gage Mueller in the 132-pound match, give Totino-Grace a brief lead at 13-10. But it's almost all Waconia from there. Jackson Boberg pins Grace's Charlie Baker in the first 30 seconds at 182 to make it 36-16 Wildcats. Bram Fitzsimmons uses a nice fireman's carry to score the winning takedown in overtime against Jacob Ranning at 195 pounds. The Wildcats beat the Eagles 48-16. Grace won in the consolation bracket against Montemedi. The girls' basketball playoffs tipped off Wednesday night for several local teams. That included Armstrong hosting Minneapolis South in the Section 6 4A quarterfinals. Off a missed South shot, a single Matondo rebounds, zips it ahead to Carly Kershaw, who cruises in for the layup at a 17-9 lead. Same combination a few minutes later. Matonda to Kershaw, goes back to Matonda. She sets herself and buries a three-pointer here. And the Falcons' lead grows to 16 points. Armstrong on the run again. Nice pass from Gianna James to Kershaw for an easy 2. Senior nets 26 points in the game. Falcons lead by 20 at halftime. Second half, Kershaw sets up an open Jordan Bloom in the corner for a 3-pointer. Armstrong goes on to win at 72-52. They'll play Wayzata in the semifinals Saturday at Hopkins. Hopkins and Wayzata both easily won their quarterfinal round games Wednesday, as did Park Center in Section 5 4A. It's the final week of the regular season in boys basketball, and two good teams from the Northwest Suburban Conference met Wednesday. Senior night at Maple Grove High School as the Crimson hosted Champlin Park for the team's only meeting this season. First half, Jacob Johnson in transition for the Rebels scores and gives the Rebels a 9-2 lead. Champlin Park shoots well from the perimeter early. TJ Moberg's three-pointer puts Champlin Park ahead 20-12. But after trailing all half, the Crimson take a lead into halftime. Caden Betcher scores off a pass from Jared Rady, 26-25 Grove at the half. Nate Adams comes out firing for Maple Grove early in the second half, making 4 three-pointers in the first 7 minutes. The Crimson up 6, but he would later go out with an injury. Francis Waconia has a big game off the bench for Champlin Park. He scores on the putback here, and that's 15 points after halftime to help the Rebels rally. This game goes to overtime, and in the game's final seconds, Bennett Otto rises up and hits this jumper with 2 seconds to play. Champlin Park wins this one on the road 69-67. That's it for sports. Highlights from Maple Grove section final and boys hockey starting Friday afternoon here on CCX News.